Hi guys, this is Joe from M.A.C Solutions. I'm here with my colleague Kuz from our technical support team, and today we're doing another TechPods episode on the HMS portfolio, but in particular the Anybus Diagnostics Atlas 2 product. Atlas 2 is a network monitoring and diagnostics tool that can be typically used by OEMs or end users. Kuz, do you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Joe. So hi all. Like Joe said, we'll be focusing on the Atlas 2 unit today and how it can be deployed in smaller scale setups or even larger scale industrial environments. So the Atlas 2 currently can work with PROFINET, Ethernet IP and Modbus as well, which is quite great as it gives you the flexibility to work with multiple protocols. So right now we'll be zooming on the device and how it looks like and what it can do.
Thanks, Kuz.
Here we are at our testing rig. So as you can see, we have many different devices operating on different protocols. For example, we have a S7-1200 PLC over there, which is running in PROFINET mode. And we have an E1 Flexi and EtherCAT 2. The rest of the devices are Ethernet IP based. So if you zoom in now on the Atlas unit, you can straight away see that it's got a screen on there. The screen is mainly used just for a visual indication of your network, its health, to see if it's healthy or not, or if anything's gone wrong. So as you can see, we've got a green light. If anything goes wrong with this, there will be a red light or amber light, depending on the severity. Below that, you've got a USB port, which will be used for any firmware updates and other stuff as well. The main part of the device is these two ports here. So we've got the factory port, which will be used for connecting the overall network on the factory side to the Atlas unit. And we've got the office port as well, which is connected to the laptop here, used for the software aspect of it. So now you can see the software side of the Atlas. We'll now be focusing on it, and I'll be discussing how it works. The Atlas 2 internal webpage. So the Atlas 2 currently runs on the Osiris firmware. So the difference between Osiris and the Atlas 2 unit is that Osiris is a separate software dedicated to managing multiple Atlas 2 units in a very large network. For example, if you have a very large factory network with 2 or more Atlas units, it will be best to use Osiris since you can manage everything from one interface. So as you can see right now, we've got various different tabs such as the topology, queue factor, traffic light, device list, settings page, and many other ones too. So the main important ones that you focus on is the topology, the queue factor, the reporting aspect, as well as the EtherTap and Snap feature that it has. So as I mentioned earlier, Snap is the AI functionality of the device. So if I go to topology, you'd be able to see the various devices connected together through a switch in the topology diagram. You can select between galaxy or tree. I like to see tree because it looks much more neater. So you can see if you zoom in that there's Atlas unit right there at the top. It's managing all the other devices, monitoring and diagnosing everything. So the reason you see a question mark when you zoom in through here is because I'm using a unmanaged switch on this network. If it was to use a managed switch, you wouldn't see the question mark on various different devices or the link types. So it's managed to detect the PLC which we have connected in the switch. This is a S7-1200. You can see right here, it's come up with the model name and vendor name, and as well as the IP address and also the status of it. If you scroll down further, you can see the different device groups and if it's assigned to one right now. Currently it's not. As well as the response time and the connected ports, which you'd like to see. So the response time looks pretty normal and pretty solid. If there were any errors, it will come up right at the top here. So if I go ahead and close this right now, we're back at the full topology view, which you can see. Now moving on from this, we can go back to the dashboard and go into the queue factor settings. So the queue factor is essentially a culmination of the various different measuring points that it shows. So right now we've got the score of 5,000, which indicates that the network's healthy and it's running good. So 5,000 is actually the max score. So it shows that the network is very, very healthy. So it shows you the different scores as well for the devices themselves. So it averages it out basically. And then let you select on each device, which will bring you with its own topology page, like I showed you earlier. if you go back to the dashboard, you can also see the traffic light each two. So like I showed you in the previous part of the video, the screen of the Atlas 2, it has a traffic light on there. So if you are in the factory, you can just quickly go by the unit and look at it. And if it's green, that means everything's good, everything's going well. If it's amber, it says that it's some warnings. Maybe some parts of the network are operating quite slowly or there's some interference. And if it's red, then that means that there's critical errors or that the factory network might not be connected properly. If I go ahead, currently there's no errors, which is great. And if I go back to the dashboard, you can see everything else. So what I'd also like to feature is that there is a errors page as well. So you can see right here that we've been having quite a few errors over the past few weeks. And red ones are the critical ones essentially. So you can see that it's trying to scan IP addresses that are out of the subnet limits. So this is all on the 192.168.3 network for the factory side. So maybe there is a IP out of the network that it's trying to get. And it also shows you if device is lost. For example, the Atlas 2 unit, which was turned off yesterday, it showed us a warning that it was disabled. And if you scroll down, it also shows that the factory network was disconnected. So it's important to see this because this is quite a critical error if your factory network was disconnected, because that means you won't be able to diagnose or monitor anything on it. You can also see various other errors like ping packet loss and more device loss issues. So a way to manage these issues would be to set up the correct notifications. So if I go to the notification center, you can see all of these right here. So you can either export all of these as a CSV, which you might want to use in some trend platforms, or you can either go back to the dashboard, head to settings, and set up alarms for these. So right now it's giving you a current overview of the alarms, but you might want to configure it. So if you've got a lost device, for example, you might want to get an alarm via email, MQTT, or any other options as well. For example, if you want the lost device error to come up on the traffic light, you can do that. So let's say you want to disable all of these and just enable one singular rule which will show on the traffic light. So that would mean if that rule is active, triggered, you'd see it on the traffic light and it'll come up as amber or red. And if I go back onto the dashboard, you can also see the reports as well coming in through this. So right now you'd have to enter in your information to generate this. So I can just put this in as M.A.C Solutions. Engineer, I can just put my name down and just generate the report. So this is the overall network report. So it's showing the last 7 hours because I disconnected the unit yesterday. So it shows you the info, the Q factor as well, and the device list. If everything's going well or not. It also shows you the link list as well. So the link list is essentially for any devices that are connected to each other. It can either be hardwired directly to each other or connected to each other through a switch. And it also shows you the network lights. So it's good to collect these reports as well in case you want to analyze the trends or predict if any other issues might be occurring in the future. So you can also customize what comes up in the report as well, which is quite good, as well as putting in a snapshot image as well. It should come up in the report and having the logo too maybe. So other than that, you've got various other parts as well. We've got the snap feature and the EtherTap feature. The EtherTap feature we can go over in a separate video where we discuss the EtherTap and what it can do. The last part I can show you is the trending part of this. So the Q factor, I can show you the past month. Yeah, so it's been doing good during this time. But during this segment of the week it was disconnected, so it's going to show 0. and then yeah, today it's back to 5,000, which is great. Okay, so if you go back to the dashboard, you've also got other settings as well, like the setup wizard or the commissioning wizard. The setup wizard will be used to set up the Atlas unit itself. So once you boot into the Atlas for the first time, it would be best to just run it through this and use the GUI to navigate around the different parts that you want to set up. You also have the commissioning wizard as well, to make sure that your network is actually compliant with the required standards. For example, you might have some protocols which are quite specific. For example, if it's not PROFINET, Modbus or Ethernet IP, there's a good chance it might not be supported by the device, perhaps. I hope that is a good explanation of the Atlas 2 unit, the physical aspects of the device as well as the software aspect as well. If you've got any more questions, feel free to hit us up at info@mac-solutions.co.uk. Alright, thank you then. Bye.